Let's take a look at the questions on homework number 15. First, we'll start with visual domain and range. Don't forget to read carefully to determine what you're looking to find. And if it's range, that is the stretch of the graph from how low to how high it goes. By drawing these squiggles, it will help me to find the actual values, and by recognizing if those points are open or closed, will help me to choose the inequality signs. So it looks like the graph goes as low as -6, the point is closed, so we need a less than or equal to sign. And range is always y. The highest point on the graph looks like it is 8, and again that point is closed, so we need a less than or equal to sign. Type your response in and submit your answer. Let's try one more time. This time we're looking for the domain. So we're going to squiggle the stretch from left to right. Pay attention to those points. These both happen to be open, so we will not use an equal to sign. Domain is always x, so once you find the value of the stretch, you write your inequality signs with the numbers from least to greatest. Type in your response and click Submit. Let's take a look at the second topic. Read question carefully. This one wants to know which one is not a function. Remember, you are not a function if you have a repeating x value with a different y value. So if you have a repeating x value with a different y value, you are not a function. Check all your x values, look for repeats. If you find a repeat, check the y values, and if they don't match, you're not a function. So we found our solution for this one. Let's try one more. Check your x values. This time we want a function, so that one has a repeat, it's not a function. These are all unique, so that is a function. The others should have repeats, and now we're confirmed. Let's take a look at the third section on the homework. Determine if a graph is a function. For this, you draw a vertical line or hold your pencil up to the graph and slide it from left to right. If you do not touch the graph twice, you pass the vertical line test. Select function or not a function from the menu below and submit your answer. Let's draw our vertical line here, drag it across the screen. It does touch the graph in 2 locations, therefore it is not a function. You can hold up a pencil, or you can draw a line and drag it across the graph. For this one here, it would touch the red vertical line, therefore it fails the vertical line test, so it's not a function. You can watch the animation here. Alright, let's take a look at the next topic, evaluating quadratic functions. So remember to look at the function notation. Where is that number 10? That number 10 is inside the parentheses, so therefore it is the input, or the replacement for the letter x. Go find function f, write down its math rule, -3, input squared. So in the place of x, we will put the number 10. You can compute on a calculator, or you can mentally compute this math here by squaring the number 10 and then timesing it by -3. Again, the number -1 is inside the parentheses, therefore it is an input. That means we put the number -1 into the location of every x. This function happens to have 2 x values, and now we compute. Type your answer and submit. This next set of questions will have you finding an output, or finding the x when the output is given. That 0 is in the answer position. That means 0 is the output. So I want to find out what x is. I do not erase and replace it. I actually solve for x. Use your inverse operations and compute. Let's try this one more time. Remember, the -1 is after the equal sign, which makes it the output. Put that in the answer position, and then put the function rule on the other side. Use your inverse operations to solve for x. We're going to subtract 3 on both sides, and then we're going to divide by an invisible -1, giving us the answer of x equals 4. Okay, the next topic is to compare function values. So if we look at our answer choices, it looks like these are inputs. They want us to put the number 2 into the x positions. And then they want us to determine if it's less than, equal to, or greater than. So we're going to erase and replace the x values with the given input, which was 2. So we'll put a 2 into each of these positions, and we'll compute. You can use a calculator, or you can mentally compute these values yourself. So 24 is not less than 16, so then we move on to the next one. Are they equal to each other? Well, this is the same input as before. So if I put that 2 back into the x position, and copy each function's math rule, I know that this left side will always be 24, the right side will always be 16, so they're not equal to each other. That must mean that 24 is greater than 16, leaving me to select the last choice. Let's try this one more time. Looking at the choices, looks like all of the inputs are 9. So both function f and function g will have the letter x erased and replaced with the number 9. So we'll put that 9 in these positions, and now we have to decide if it's equal to, greater than, or less than. I'm going to use a calculator because these exponents are pretty big. So I'm going to compute 2 times the quantity and 9 to the 5th, and then I'm going to compute 6 times 3 to the 9th power. Once I can see both of these responses, I can compare them. Looks like these numbers are identical, therefore I'm going to choose the equal option. Let's take a look at the next topic, evaluating functions from graphs. Now this one can be a little tricky, but remember, when a number is inside the parentheses, it is the x value. So we're going to go to the x-axis, we're going to find the number -5, and then once there, we will move up and down the y-axis to find the y value. So it looks like the graph crosses at y equals 3 when x is -5. So when the input is -5, the output of the graph is 3. Let's try it again. Again, the input is what we're trying to replace. So we want to find the y when the x is -4. Go to the x-axis, go over to -4, and this time we're going to move down till we hit the curve. Once we find that y coordinate, we're done. So the y value when x is -4 is -5. One more time. Find the y value when x is -5. Go to the x-axis, to number -5, and move down until you hit the graph line. This time we want to find y. This time we're going to find the value for y when x is 6. X-axis, number 6, move down to the line, find your y value. One more time. Find the y value when x is -1. Go to your x-axis, over to -1. This time we'll move up the graph. We'll find our y value. This one is a bit different. This one has a 0 outside of the parentheses. So that means this is the output, or the y value. So we're going to go to our y-axis, find the number 0, and then move along the x-axis till we find the x value that touches the graph. Again, when the number is after the equal sign, like this one, then the y value is -5. We want to go to the y-axis, find the -5 coordinate, and then see what x coordinate it lines up with. And for us, when we're at -5, we're already on the line. So that means the x coordinate is 0. And that concludes homework 15.